Imagine falling asleep tonight and waking up hundreds of years in the future. Your family is gone. Your city has changed. Your money is worthless. And the world you once knew has completely disappeared. It sounds like science fiction, yet one of the most famous stories in religious history tells exactly that. A story preserved in Christian tradition and also mentioned in the Quran. The story of a group of young believers who entered a cave, fell asleep, and woke up centuries later. Who were these mysterious sleepers? Did they really exist? And why has their story fascinated people for over 1,000 years? Let's find out. To understand this mystery, we need to travel back nearly 1,700 years. The Roman Empire ruled much of the known world. At the time, following certain religious beliefs could be dangerous. According to ancient traditions, a group of young men refused to abandon their faith, despite pressure from powerful rulers. Rather than betray their beliefs, they chose to flee. They escaped from the city and sought refuge in a remote cave. There, hidden from the world, they prayed for protection. According to the story, something extraordinary happened next. Instead of being captured, they fell into a deep sleep. Not for one night, not for 1 month, but for centuries. The Quran describes how God caused the sleepers to remain in the cave for many years. Their story appears in Surah Al-Kahf, often called the cave. The Quran says that while they slept, their bodies were protected. The sun passed over them. They were turned from side to side, and anyone who saw them would have been filled with awe. Even their dog remained near the entrance of the cave. Time passed. Empires rose and fell. Kings came and went. Entire generations lived and died. Yet inside the cave, everything remained still. The sleepers knew nothing of the centuries passing outside. Then one day, they woke up. To them, it felt like a short nap. One of them asked, "How long have we been here?" Some thought it had been a day. Others believed only part of a day had passed. Hungry and confused, they decided to send one of their companions into the city to buy food. But the moment he arrived, something felt wrong. The streets looked different. The people spoke differently. The buildings had changed. And when he tried to pay with his ancient coins, everyone stared at him. The money he carried belonged to a distant past. The city realized something unbelievable. This man appeared to have stepped out of history. According to the tradition, the world they fled from no longer existed. The rulers who once persecuted them were gone. The society they remembered had vanished. What had once been dangerous was now accepted. The young believers became living evidence of a miracle. People gathered to hear their story. News spread rapidly. How could anyone survive for so long? How could centuries pass without them aging? The mystery amazed everyone who heard it, and it continues to amaze people today. One of the most discussed questions is simple. How long did they actually sleep? The Quran mentions a period of 300 years, with an additional 9 years, often interpreted according to differences between solar and lunar calendars. For centuries, scholars have discussed the meaning of these numbers. Meanwhile, Christian traditions tell a similar story, known as the 7 Sleepers of Ephesus. Although details vary, both traditions describe faithful young people, a cave, a miraculous sleep, and an astonishing awakening. These similarities have fascinated historians and religious scholars for generations. Today, historians continue debating whether the story was based on real events, symbolic teachings, or a combination of both. Several locations have been proposed as the Cave of the Sleepers. Sites in modern-day Turkey and Jordan attract visitors who believe they may be connected to the story. However, no definitive evidence has ever settled the mystery, and perhaps that uncertainty is part of what makes the story so powerful. Whether viewed as history, miracle, or spiritual lesson, the story of the sleepers has survived for centuries. It reminds believers about faith during difficult times. It raises questions about time, mortality, and the power of God. And it challenges us to imagine what it would feel like to wake up in a world that has completely forgotten us. A world where everyone you ever knew is gone. A world hundreds of years in the future. The mysterious sleepers may never reveal all their secrets, but their story continues to echo through history. What do you think? Could such a thing ever happen? Let us know in the comments.